Beloved, I want to tell you about an experience that happened to me today, May 6, 2017, at about 11 in the morning. Sabbath school was about to end, and at that time, like suddenly, something caught my attention, and I realized how that I did not feel the presence of God in the place where I was. So I started asking Him, Lord, where are you? I don't feel you. I don't feel you here. Where are you, Lord? And I began to search with my eyes for all the places to see if at any moment I could see or feel the presence of God. But I didn't. I did not see it. Then I got a little sad. I heard a voice that told me, I'm in the bathroom. I tell him, Lord, but how are you in the bathroom? How can you be in the bathroom? In the bathroom is where people go to relieve themselves, and you are such a holy God. How is it that you are in the bathroom? And he told me, come to the bathroom. When I suddenly go outside, I open the bathroom door. I felt like it was full. Like my body had to put pressure to enter because it felt like it was full of something, but I didn't see what it was. And suddenly it was a need, like a desire so great that I had to kneel down, and I got down on my knees and started, Lord, please. But why? Why do I feel you here? Why didn't I feel you in there where I was sitting in the chairs there listening to the Sabbath school lesson? And he told me, Daisy, because there is too much sin. I can't go in. I can't go in. I have to be out here. He told me, what are you doing here? Here is too much sin. I was saying, Lord, but is that I am also a sinner. I don't know. So how how you're talking to me because I'm a sinner too? Then he would tell me, what happens is that they don't look for me. They don't look for me. They're full of their own ideas, their own thoughts. They imagine things the way they think. And now, well, I can't be there because they don't accept me. So then, well, I started crying. I was kneeling in the bathroom, leaning over the sink, and I started crying. And I said, Lord, but how sad. Why are you telling me this? Why? I am very sad to hear this, what you are saying to me. Then suddenly I got up and felt that they were going to pray because they were going to dismiss the Sabbath school. So I went and knelt inside, running again. Lord, Lord. And I said, Lord, please come here with me. And he said to me, no, it is that I cannot enter because I do not want stones, constructions, but I am looking for contrite and humiliated hearts. And here there are no contrite and humiliated hearts. Then suddenly the prayer was over. And when I sat down, well, it started. It was something kind of strange because suddenly they already began to talk about going to do missionary work, that they should go, that the houses of hope and all those things. And suddenly when they were talking all this, I heard a voice that tells me that we should all make an effort. He said, make an effort and do not send others but go yourself. No one can be relieved of their responsibility because the person who was speaking was telling everyone that they had to go. I don't know which place there, and that they had to do missionary work, and they had to get many houses of hope to start giving many Bible studies and everything. So people were like they weren't talking to them. It was like they wouldn't care. It wouldn't matter what they were saying. Everyone was on their own things, and it didn't matter what they were saying from the front. Nobody was interested in anything. They looked very comfortable, very calm, and no one worried about doing anything for others. So I understand that that is why the voice told me that they should make an effort, and that they would not send others, but that they should go themselves, because no one can be relieved of the responsibility that God has given us to carry this gospel in its purity to other people. So then that I am like very sad, because the Lord also told me, Daisy, I can't go in. I can't go in. And I, with the desire to leave, but as some families had come with us there, then I said, my God, but how do I go? How do I tell them that I have to go? I don't know how to do it. And there I stayed. Then, all of a sudden, the officers came up to start the second service. And when they prayed and everything began, as a somewhat strange situation, instead of introducing the person who was going to preach and start with the sermon, they started as a series of jokes and some things. And I said, Lord, but after it was sung and prayed, look at what these people are doing. They are laughing about the candles, about the light that went out the night before, and everyone there laughing and about other things. And I was saying, but it is that here there is no type of solemnity. And the voice said to me, that is why I cannot be there, because they have already taken me out. They have taken me out. Everything they do is with their arrogance, with their words, but I am not there. I am not in their midst. And at this moment, the voice reminded me. It told me, remember the great controversy, chapter 1 of the 3 groups? The first group realized when the sign in the year 67 that Cestius Gallus came and surrounded the city. They were at the Feast of Tabernacles, and then God had said that when the city was surrounded, it was the signal to flee to the mountains. So well, when it came, the voice told me that when that came and the signal was seen, Cestius Gallus arrived, which I should remember that there were 3 groups, that 3 groups were formed. Those who realized and said, okay, the signal was fulfilled, and well, we have to ensure the moment when the Lord opens the door and we leave. And the second group of those who realized it but were delayed stayed because it was the best moment for them. They were at their best in terms of money, goods, possessions, and they were delayed in leaving until the scare left them, and they did not go out. And there was a third group that saw the signal. It didn't matter to them, but they got emboldened and went out and pursued the opposite side, which was Cestius Gallus' squadron, and killed many of the soldiers that in this then were more the leaders. And they were reminding me of this from chapter 1 of the great controversy, that we can see it there. Then the voice tells me, which do you think was the group that was saved? And I told him, well, Lord, because you say there in the great controversy of chapter 1 that the group that was saved were those who left and did not return to any celebration that was seen in Jerusalem until in the year 70 at the time of the Passover. General Titus came, and then that was the end of Jerusalem. And he told me, do the same. And when he told me, do the same, I, with a desire to get up and get out running, but there I was trapped, because I had brought a family that was a visitor, not a visitor that are not from the church, but a visitor that they were visiting us, even though they are Adventists, and I had gone there with them. I was saying, Lord, but how should I do? But then at that moment, when the person who is going to preach finally positioned himself as he was going to start preaching, and the joke he was bringing has stopped, I kind of stopped listening to him, and I began to hear this voice that repeated verses to me. And the first thing he said to me was Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 32 to 38. And then he said to me, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3. Then the voice kept saying to me, Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5. Then Hosea chapter 4, verse 9. Then Philippians chapter 4, verse 5. Then 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. Then Philippians chapter 3, verse 8. And then Romans chapter 3, verse 9. Then Colossians chapter 3, verse 24. Then Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 25. Also Isaiah chapter 5, verse 8 to 25. Then Malachi chapter 3, verse 9. Malachi chapter 4, verse 4. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 3. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12 to 18. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 12. Colossians chapter 3, verse 9 to 11. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 9. And Luke chapter 11, verse 52. When they gave me all these verses, which at other times has also happened, suddenly the voice said to me, you have to read them. You have to read them, because you have to know, because you have to put it on a blank paper, and you have to give it to the preacher. And it is very important that not only he knows, but that all pastors have to know this, because this is for them, and so that the people also realize what is happening from the top to bottom, because I am pending, because I am realizing what is happening. So for me, brothers, it was very sad, because I had to write this on a blank paper and give it to the person who was preaching, that he was actually a pastor. And he is a person that I love very much. But well, the Lord told me that I had to do it, so I did. And I hope that when you read these verses, you really realize what is happening. The Lord is calling us. He is calling us to consecration, because if we do not consecrate ourselves, brothers, unfortunately, if we continue to follow men, listening to men, if we do not seek the face of God with all our hearts, brothers, we're going to lose ourselves. For me, it's very sad to say these things. For me, it is a suffering to know that our Lord is at the doors, and that the people are raving and wandering in thoughts and lost of one another. and we are not looking for the face of our God, brothers, please let us seek the face of our God. Let us seek His forgiveness. Let us humble ourselves before Him, because the Lord is soon to come, and if we do not prepare, brothers, we will stay. It is not because of what we know that we are going to be saved. It is of what we do. And although we are not saved by works, we that know, as He says, faith without works is dead. If we know and exercise faith and do what God commands, then He will be able to dwell in us. And as He told me at the beginning, I do not want stone constructions, but rather I look for contrite and humbled hearts. May it be the Lord who direct us in everything, dear brothers. Let us seek the Lord with all our hearts, because our Lord is coming now. The conditions of our churches is tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. So many things are going to come. They are going to catch us so unprepared if we don't get stirred up, if we don't start following in the footsteps of the teacher. Dear brothers, may the Lord grant that when you read these verses, which the Lord has dictated to me, that it be a blessing for you, and that we can realize, brothers, that only God can save us. To Him be the glory, the honor forever. May God bless you, and may this be a blessing and to open the eyes of many, so that they realize that our Lord is at the door and that all He wants is to save us. May the Lord bless you.